We live? Oh, wait for the timer. Time's up. Hey guys, this is Wolfie. Today we are going to keep an eye out for Brandon Aiyuk and his situation, see if any news comes in or anything like that. I doubt it. But if any news comes in or anything like that, guess what? I will tell you. Second, we are going to check out the perspectives at training camp today. Just see what's going on. Just the usual, my previous streams. So, second, we are going to check out the perspectives at training camp. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. Something important. Anyway, we're going to check out some of the training camp perspectives from Larry Krueger, Grant Cohn, David Lombardi, pretty much the other stuff we've been doing from the other perspectives we've been watching. So, woo! All right, let's get started. So I'm like waking myself up. It's a little late. Did a lot of work today, so I've just been 1 minute now. Anyway, let's get to the good and not so good from Grant Cohn. He's going to tell us, and he's going to tell us only what happened at training camp today. I'm certain of it. Let's go.
On day 17 of 49ers training camp. Keep in mind, they were supposed to fly to Irvine to practice against the Saints, but were too injured. The good. Cornerback Deommodore Lenoir, he stripped the ball out of Deebo Samuel's hands and intercepted Brock Purdy. More on him in a minute.
Shut
Lenoir
up.
Covering.
No way, dude. You have this guy on. Oh, okay. All right. I need to reel it in. Reel it in. Just finish the video. Let him say his good. Let him say his bad. Let's go.
Samuel, who was open after running a corner route, but Purdy's pass was underthrown. Lenoir was in man-to-man coverage. He turned his head to find the ball and easily picked it off. He now has intercepted Purdy 5 times in 17 practices, which means Lenoir is the MVP of 49ers training camp, and it's not particularly close. Wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk, he showed up to practice for the 3rd day in a row. This time he wore a red shirt, a red baseball cap, and did wind sprints with a resistance band around his waist. You'd think he was really injured or something. Maybe he has to milk his supposed injury to not get fined. I don't know. Kyle Shanahan says Aiyuk has a sore back. Don't we all?
What is he supposed to say in this scenario? What is... we all know he's not really hurt. We all know that. So, like, what is the hate for Kyle Shanahan here for? I gotta stop. I just gotta let him finish the video. It's just so much unnecessary, like, blame. Like, there's no reason to blame him here. Like, we all know why Aiyuk's there, not, like, supposedly hurts. We know already. Like, why are you saying it like that?
Wide receiver Jacob Cowing. He made a 20-yard catch over the middle on a high pass thrown by Joshua Dobbs. The pass wasn't great, but the catch was. A few plays later, Cowing beat Darrell Luter Jr. with a quick slant route. Cowing has been healthy all week, and as a result, has steadily improved, as opposed to Ricky Pearsall, who's still injured. Linebacker Curtis Robinson. He broke up a Brandon Allen pass that was intended for Cam Latu over the middle, then dropped a potential interception while covering George Kittle on a pass thrown by Purdy. Robinson has had a terrific camp. The game seems to have really slowed down for him, whatever that means. Linebacker.
What do you mean? What does that mean? Everyone knows that things go fast, and then it slows down over time. Once you see, once your play recognition goes up, you can recognize how things are developing, so it becomes slower for you, so you can process it. What do you mean? We do know what that means. So what do you mean?
Tatum Bethune.
And I will say that ever since I've talked shit about Curtis Robinson, I don't know, like a week ago, I was like, we haven't heard anything about him. He's definitely not making this team. Literally the next day, Curtis Robinson, man, crazy playing camp. The next day, Curtis Robinson, dude, it's just been, I don't know. We got too many linebackers, man.
He nearly intercepted a pass thrown by Tanner Mordecai. More on him in a minute. Bethune is playing with a ton of confidence for a rookie 7th-round pick. Tight end Eric Sobert. He destroyed rookie safety Malik Mustafa with a simple out route during one-on-one drills. Sorbet isn't fast, but he's clearly a good route runner and a good blocker. And man, Who doesn't like Sorbet? The not so good.
I will say that there has been nothing but good things about Sorbet. So I think it was a Suburb, but maybe he was corrected, and that's why he's saying it that way. Maybe that's what he was corrected. He didn't like that. But Sorbet, okay, or whatever, has been making some good catches in camp from his mouth and from other 49ers content creators. He's been making catches, making plays, and he's a good blocker. So I'm really excited about Sorbet. He may not be the flashy, move fast kind of guy, but if he can run his routes and he can block, I can give two craps, dude. I really can. Like, I'm not asking my player to be Lamar Jackson. I just want them to catch the damn ball. So, but not so
Quarterback Brock Purdy. He caught a touchdown pass from Deebo Samuel while running a trick play the 49ers call.
It was like this. Deebo Samuel was like, pass it back, pass it back, pass it back. Deebo went, back arm fucking twist fucking chest. And Purdy jumped back to the Juwan Jennings lookalikes. Boom, and caught it like that. That's how it went down. That's how Brock Purdy caught that touchdown pass.
Bird dog, but he completed just 8 of 19 passes with 1 interception. He also threw 2 passes that nearly were picked off. The interception was an underthrown pass intended for Samuel when Purdy had time and space in the pocket to throw. The first drop pick was a pass Purdy forced downfield to Samuel, who was double covered. The second drop pick was an ill-advised throw off his back foot in the face of pressure. The pass was intended for Kittle, but was extremely underthrown, and the only person who got his hands on it was linebacker Curtis Robinson. This terrible showing comes just a day after Purdy was nearly perfect. It would be nice to see him string together 2 good practices in a row before the Niners give him $60 million per season. Because we all know he can play well when he's cheap, and the 49ers set him up for success with a great opening script and a great supporting cast. But if he's truly elite, he'll play well consistently even when he isn't set up for success. Quarterback Brandon.
Look. Okay, I need to see him being consistent. In a game, that's where you earn your money, not practice. You earn your spot on the team in practice if you have nothing, if you have no history of being good or anything like that, and you're just a rookie coming in, and you're definitely not a first-round pick, second or third, maybe even a fourth-round pick, you're going to get cut if you don't perform in practice. However, for Brock Purdy's situation, he needs to play good in games. As for practice, you're asking him to not do anything different. You're asking him not to look at something just because he's scared of it. He's practicing. You want him to have this constantly good practice all the time. But how can you constantly have a good practice and do things you've never done to find out if they're bad or not? It doesn't make, they don't, you cannot say one thing and then have another one exist in this scenario. These truths cannot be true. Both situations cannot be true. You can't be like, I want the greatest quarterback ever and I want him to be perfect in playoffs while perfect in practice. Okay. And it just doesn't. Okay. I need to collect this up. I just drank coffee, so I have a buttload of energy right now. So I'm just saying, you want your rookie, your quarterback that's on a rookie contract that's trying to prove himself to make millions of dollars, $60 million. You want him to practice to be better than he is already now. And the only way you're going to do that is by throwing interceptions and doing things you haven't done before. His argument is stupid. If he was 30 years old and there was nothing else to learn and he was doing all these other things already and he was very inconsistent in practice, preseason, and games, then yeah, you should be concerned. It blows my mind that for a guy who studies the game, he doesn't understand the definition of practice. If the guy threw 7 interceptions and 8 interceptions, then it becomes something. Why is that different than 8 and 5? What's the difference between 8 and 5? Well, one means he's not ever making a good decision. One is like there's not a single moment in time where this man is being consistent with 2 throws, 3 throws, or anything like that. It's okay to throw interceptions. It matters is it a trend? Is it a trend? We just saw yesterday he was fucking insane. He was insanely good. Then the next day, oh, he's just inconsistent. Practice, man. What if he is his day? What if the reason why he was better yesterday was because all the shit that he tried before that day yesterday, when everyone was calling him crap, he learned from that and then practiced it the next day and got better. Fucking critical thinking, man. Critical thinking. All right, let's get back to it.
Brandon Allen.
Papa Jack.
He's terrible.
Welcome to the chat.
Today, he rolled to his right and sailed a 5-yard pass over Ronnie Bell's head. Head coach Kyle Shanahan immediately yelled at Allen, turned away, and shook his head in disgust. I felt the same way. What a horrendous throw. Quarterback Joshua Dobbs. He's awful. That's why the Niners gave him only 5 passes for the entire practice. At least Shanahan didn't yell at him. I almost did. Quarterback Tanner Mordecai.
I would just fucking love to hear from someone tell me, "Do you know what Graham Cohn did? He yelled at a player to be a better quarterback." I want to know what happens, dude. I would love to see that. I would love it. So, anyway, Joshua Dobbs is a backup quarterback, and so is Brandon Allen. I'm not expecting them. Joshua Dobbs has proven that he can win games. Like, he can win a game or two, right? He's proven that he's won a game before, right? So he could do it. I'd rather have a guy who's proven himself in this situation as my backup quarterback than Brandon Allen or Tanner Mordecai at this point. I would much rather have the passer not.
Kai. He's atrocious. Today, he threw a pass that nearly got intercepted just a day after throwing 2 passes that did get intercepted. Besides Purdy, the 49ers have one of the worst quarterback rooms in the entire league. Wide receiver Ricky Pearsall.
That might be true. But then again, I don't know the entire roster of every single team. So I don't know if that's entirely true. But you could definitely say it's probably the weaker quarterback room out of not of all of Kyle Shanahan. I guess since he's had Jimmy G. Yeah, I guess because Nick Mullins, I would take Nick Mullins over Joshua Dobbs. I would take Nick Mullins over Brandon Allen, Tanner Mordecai. Heck, maybe even CJ Beathard. I might even take him over Joshua Dobbs. So, no, it's up there. It's a bad room. I agree. Unless
still injured, in danger of missing all but a few days of training camp. Probably won't catch more than 15 passes this season. Left guard Aaron Banks.
No!
He broke his pinky finger yesterday and had surgery to fix it. The 49ers hope.
Oh, thank God. I thought he was going to be like, Banks played like shit. He got knocked over. He was trash. Like, no, it's our starting left guard. Don't say that. No.
He's ready for week 1, which means the entire left side of their offensive line could be on the shelf for the season opener if the 49ers don't work things out with Trent Williams.
To be fair, Banks did practice some.
And that's the good side of the offensive line.
He's got a point. I mean, there are some things I agree with Cohn on, and it seems like the offensive line we are pretty dead set on. But then again, like just about every single like person agrees with me on that. I don't know if you guys see that, guys. Look at my screen. Women seeking companionship. Copy that link for you guys if you guys need it. Hook you guys up. All right, let's look at Larry Krueger. See what he's got up next. Hold on. Deal soon.
All right, Larry Krueger from the Pig.
Pig and a pig. All right, here we go. All right. I paused at a very weird time. All right, here's Larry Krueger with his reactions to the camp. Usually his is very long. Usually it's 10 minutes plus, but this is only 8 minutes. So that's actually kind of relieving, actually, knowing that I don't have to go through 22 minutes of stuff. Because he often, when it's 22 minutes long, man, he has something that he really wants to say that he's very passionate about, but he does repeat himself a lot when it's that long. So I'm glad that it's 8 minutes for once. So thank you, Larry. I appreciate that. You're awesome. Let's go. All right.
Pig and a Pickle Krug show here at Levi Stadium for training camp practice day number 17. Let's talk a little bit about everything that happened today in Niner land for the Niners. First of all, John Lynch went on KMBR this morning, and he talked about Brandon Aiyuk and Trent Williams. He said, we want them both here. He also said, hey, other teams, would love to have our problems. And the reality of the Niners situation with Trent Williams and Brandon Aiyuk is that the Niners have 20.
I don't know if this scenario is. I get what you would use that argument for like a quarterback. Like we got 2 good quarterbacks and they start, so it's like it's a good problem to have that other teams would want. But like, do you want your wide receiver that you got to pay to be bitching and complaining, doing what he's doing, and the left tackle, your best left tackle in the league, also holding? I don't know, especially since it's kind of like being a little bit fumbled. I don't know. I could be just overthinking it now, but I'm overthinking it. I'm overthinking what he's saying there. Let's just get
23% of the NFL's top 30 players on their roster. And that's pretty much the entire issue right there. They have too many good players, and it's hard to squeeze them in.
Poor Larry's got a broken camera.
You know,
do you guys see that dot there? I know I got ADHD, so live with it. Look at that. That's gonna drive me nuts, dude. You got a broken camera, bud. That's a sign. I think that's a sign of a broken camera. I think you broke like a pixel or something. I don't know how it works. I don't know. But that's gonna drive me nuts. It's gonna drive me crazy.
As far as is there bad? He was asked if there's bad blood, between Kyle Shanahan
and bad blood
the 49ers and Brandon Aiyuk.
Something.
He assured everybody that there really is no bad blood, that this is just the nature of negotiations. And then he just the whole idea of free agency in the NFL is you just can't sign everybody. So you got to prioritize who you want to sign. And it's just been a really tough negotiation because the Niners are a loaded team and this is a great player. He wants his money. It's a tight squeeze. You got Purdy's looming. I think all these factors are major factors, but no new news yet on Brandon Aiyuk or Trent Williams. Aiyuk continues to hold in. Aiyuk was at practice for the third day in a row, but still not playing. Now we did see I watched some of the
3 days in a row. Aiyuk's really going for that achievement. It's really going for that achievement. If you go to practice 5 days in a row, you actually get 500 coins. So,
defensive line, offensive line, one-on-ones. And those are always fun to watch. I thought Pooney beat Malik Collins on one of the reps. I thought Kingston
beat
Kevin Givens on one of the reps.
That's very
Evan
good.
Anderson beat Gutierrez on a rep. Elliott beat Jake Brendel on a rep. Robert Beal beat Chris Hubbard badly on one rep. Anderson beat Nugent on a rep. Kingston beat Shaquille Brown on a rep. I think overall, though, if I was saying, watching the entire group, I would say Nugent, Drake Nugent, Shaquille Brown really struggled in the one-on-one.
I was really hoping for Drake Nugent.
Kingston, Evan Anderson, and Elliott, Jordan Elliott, all looked really good in the one-on-one drills for sure. Then we got into the team drills. JP Mason had a really nice run. I thought Cody Schrader had a number of really nice runs.
About time, eh?
Keyshawn Vaughn ran the ball well today. So, and then
do not start preaching to me about Keyshawn Vaughn, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it. I know he got a rep, but I'm just calling it now. I'm just saying it now because I know Larry. I've watched Larry for a while now. Do not go on a rant about how great Keyshawn Vaughn is, please.
And we also saw, I think Schrader's really coming on. The Niner linebackers are playing well too. Curtis Robinson looks good. Tatum Bethune keeps showing up at the football. And you see it once. He led the Niners in tackles in the game with 8. You see him, lead the Niners in tackles, and you think, wow, was it accidental? Then you go to practice and you realize this guy keeps showing up around the football. So does he have the greatest measurables? No. He's a little too slow, according to the measurables. He's a little too unexplosive. But all he did was pile up huge tackle totals at Florida State. And if you watch him on the practice field, he shows up at the football. In the drills, he wins. He's a hitter.
Keyshawn is a running back for the 49ers right now. We just signed him not too long ago. He's just a body. So I don't remember what it was, but I think it was like when we first signed him, I saw the video that Larry had about him, and he was really like glazing the shit out of him. I was like, dude, he's just a body. Relax. Like he's talking about how great he was in like college. I don't know. And it's like, that was a long time ago, brother. Yeah, so, but Keyshawn, that's who Keyshawn Vaughn is. He's a running back. I believe he played for the Cowboys. I could be wrong.
He's a player, man. He's a player. I don't know, I don't know if he'll run fast enough to stay on the field for 3 downs. I don't know if he's a 3-down linebacker in the NFL, but he's a first and second down linebacker for sure. So I'm really impressed by Tatum Bethune. He nearly had an interception today at practice of a ball that was thrown by Tanner Mordecai, and Bethune broke on it and just dropped it. So he looked good. The other guy who looks really good today was Jacob Cowing. Josh Dobbs had a 25-yard pass play in the middle of the field to Cowing Cowing came out in that first day and was fantastic, and then had the hamstring pull and was down for a few days, and then came back and looked, kind of unsure of himself. But man, he looked good today.
Hey, I want to take a victory lap real quick. I just need to take a victory lap with this Jacob Cowing thing. Okay, I just want to throw this out there. Okay, when his first day back after his injury, he was ridiculed by a couple, not just one, but a couple of 49ers content creators saying he doesn't look that great. He's kind of not really doing his thing or whatever. But these past few days, man, Cowling's been shutting that guy up. And I've been saying that. I was like, it's only his first day back from injury. Got to give him a chance. Also, he's a rookie. Let him get a flow. Let him build it. He's just now getting the ball thrown to him consistently. Let's just give it a couple days. Well, he didn't need a couple days because literally the next day, that was the only thing I was wrong about in this situation, was like the next day he fucking balled out. So that's good to hear that Jacob Cowing is really good, the 4th round draft pick. It's good to hear. I mean, it'll be nice to hear about Ricky Pearsall, but I mean, we could take what we can get at this point, especially with the whole Aiyuk situation at wide receiver. So let's finish this video.
He was making catches all over the field. I asked Shanahan about him after practice, and he said he's eager to look at the practice film because he thinks that Cowing had overall a really good day. Tay Martin had another good day. Aaron Banks, by the way, has a broken pinky, and he will not play this week, but he is expected to go against the Jets in week 1. There is a internet rumor. Pretty Ricky 213 has reported that the 49ers have upped their offer to Brandon Aiyuk to $30 million per year. We have no confirmation from anybody with the Niners. John Lynch says we do feel the urgency to have Brandon Aiyuk. So they want
as of right now, yeah, I agree with you.
Aiyuk, as I said, was at practice today, but not participating. Talanoa Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw both attended practice today and rooted on their teammates, both guys rehabbing injuries. Kyle said we are tired of hitting each other, and they want to hit another team besides themselves. So they're eager to play the Saints this weekend. And as I said, Aaron Banks is going to have surgery on that pinky finger. They're saying he is going to be ready for week 1 in the New York Jets. Some of the practice highlights today. Tay Martin made a really nice catch on a ball from Brandon Allen. Tatum Bethune, as I said, had the near interception.
You got to feel bad. Just a tiny bit for Tay Martin. He will never make the team. All right. But he's always doing enough to where he kind of shows up sometimes in practice quite a bit where you're like, okay, is he actually going to make this roster? Not this one, because we have way too many wide receivers. But Tay Martin, I mean, every year in practice, I think last year is like his first year, so I could be tripping. But I remember last year and then this year, he's been making plays, but he's never going to make the team, quite literally. I feel like he could do anything, and he won't make the team. I feel bad for him. And I agree with you, Paul J. I don't know if you heard me, but I agree. I'll take Connolly right now over Cowing because Connolly has a huge rapport with Brock Purdy right now. So I would totally.
And Tanner Mordecai and was around the ball all day. Demo Lenore had a big hit on J.P. Mason. Cowing had a fantastic 30-yard catch, 25-yard catch on a ball down the middle from Dobbs. Cody Schrader had multiple really nice runs. Jair Brown had a big hit. There was no Nick Bosa at practice today. Kyle said that about Ricky Pearsall that he hopes that Ricky Pearsall will be ready for week 1, but that's as far as he would go. He just says, he doesn't know if Pearsall will be ready for week 1, but he hopes.
I want this to be known. And I've said this every single time. Every time I like criticize Larry or any other creator like that, because I'm not perfect. I will let me look at my face, quite literally. So I don't try to criticize people when they're shit, because sometimes I'll have something on my shirt or I'll fuck around and there'll be something, it happens. It's gonna happen. But I've noticed with Larry, he always has that white stuff from dry mouth. That's what happens. You like dry, so like saliva gets like right on his lip, and it takes me out of what he's saying immediately. And it's not his fault, because like that's just his genetics and stuff. But I notice it every single time, and it kills me. But let's get back to it. I'm tripping.
He's out there. Kyle said that Aiyuk's got a back injury, and that's why he's not on the field. But I think obviously that's wink on that. And then Kyle said he was impressed by the rookie class, but hopes he doesn't need to use them a whole lot. And that, you look at these guys, Pearsall,
you don't really want to, right?
Bethune, Kingston, Cowing, Renardo Green, Dominic Pooney. this does look like it could be an outstanding rookie class, and a number of these guys could wind up playing. And by the way, one other note, Talanoa Hufanga did have a good meeting with the doctors and the trainers, and he has been cleared to start beginning more aggressive football activities. So Hufanga is hoping to get back for week 1 against the Jets. You can tell he's chomping at the bit to get back and get on the field. He's eager to get out there. So
that's exciting. You know, I remember like the beginning of this, like earlier in the year, we were thinking like end of September, October. So him being there for the first 4 games could be huge. But then again, we don't know if he's the same player or not. So I guess it's good to know. It's good that he's coming back now, just so he can get his feet under him and we can see what he is, especially right before we pay him. So, God, I hope he's still the same guy.
And then we had a chance to talk to Kyle Shanahan a little bit after practice.
He's the same guy.
And, you know, Kyle is, you know, feels like they're getting things done, but they're just bored. You know, they're bored. He mentioned how him and Mick Lombardi, you know, are going every day seems like the same day when you're in training camp, and it's just they're ready for the monotony of training camp to be over and for, you know, the season to be upon us. And we're almost there. You get the preseason game Sunday against the Saints, and then you're heading into the final week of the preseason. That final game will be mostly for, you know, the guys who are on the bubble. Most of the players who are going to be on this team will not play in that third and final preseason game. And it will just be for, you know, 4 or 5 competitions for a couple roster spots in that final game. And then it's the final cut down on the 27th of August. And then, of course, the Jets in week 1, just around the corner. So there you go. That's a wrap on the recap from Santa Clara for today. Thanks for.
All right, so our ballers so far have been not Brock Purdy. Take that back. Sorry. Ballers were Cowing. Bethune looks like a stud. Who else looks like a stud? It was Cody Schrader. He said he looked like a stud. Curtis Robinson looked good. The quarterbacks looked terrible. That's what I keep hearing. And then there was another. Pooney got hurt. Salbert. Sobert. Apparently did pretty good today. So there's that too as well. And I'm pretty sure I'm missing someone else. But it's good to know that, yeah. Okay. Oh, and apparently there's no bad blood between John Lynch and Aiyuk, which I'm assuming is the case. I mean, everyone knows this is business. It's not like, I don't think they're actually spitting hot fire at each other. I don't think Aiyuk is like, John Lynch guy, type it in angrily texts and Instagram and stuff. I don't see it that way. There's millions and millions of dollars on the line right now. So, of course, there's going to be some, as of now, aggressiveness and maybe some, like, what seems like animosity, but really it's just business and everyone's just trying to get paid and do their jobs. So, I wouldn't, look too much into it. Okay. We just looked at Grant Cohn. Okay. And then we just looked at Larry Krueger here. Okay. Now we are going to check out the positive man himself, David Lombardi. I mean, the guy should be a doctor because he finds ways to deliver you news no matter what in a good way. All right. Okay. So this one's 4 minutes and 26 seconds long. Seconds long. Bum, bum. You guys can't see it, but it's on the screen. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. And here we go. Ah! All right, let's go.
Last practice of training camp. We're going to have to check with Kyle Shanahan here in a few minutes to find out the plan for next week. But at the very end, the 49ers.
Why does he seem like Batman right now? We're going to talk to Kyle Shanahan in a few minutes, and we're going to know the plan next week. Just like, bro, dude.
Niners did turn on the scoreboard for the first time this camp. Real
looks aggressive, doesn't he? Am I tripping or what?
Seconds put onto the clock. Offense got 1 timeout. Offense was supposedly down 3 points, and they lined up at their own 35-yard line. Brock Purdy hadn't been really good during the install period of practice today. Threw an interception to Diomedar Lenore, but he
said something negative about Brock Purdy. I need to go outside. Is hell frozen? Oh! He just said Brock Purdy didn't do very well in the installs. What?
absolutely turned it on during the 2-minute
I am
drill
the
that
David.
49ers ran there at the end. 4 for 4. A couple deep outs completed, including one to George Kittle ahead of the timeout that the 49ers called. And then a completion to Chris Conley, followed by a spike, got the ball down to the 11. So they went from their own 35 to the defense's 11.
Chris Conley.
With 12 seconds left at that point, Kyle Shanahan called the drive, brought out the second team. Second team also moved the ball decently well against the second team defense. But Shanahan called that drive as well. The reason why is because they have an allotted amount of plays that they don't want to go over. Yesterday was 40 for the offense. That was the heaviest day of training camp. I'm assuming it was between 30 and 40 today for the offensive ones. So they didn't want to go over that allotment, but still good job on the 2-minute drive from the 49ers offense. Shanahan, he has some fun with that. He rigs this a little bit for the offense. He didn't do anything in the case of the first team today. But the second team, it looked like Tatum Bethune, the 49ers' 7th-round pick, had stuffed Keyshawn Vaughn, the running back, on a 4th and 1.
Smack.
But Shanahan came in and made sure
Laid that fucker out.
Offense got a favorable spot. And then he assessed a penalty against the defense, I think for delay of game or something. And it was really funny because the defensive sideline was upset about it. And you see Shanahan just go, so the defensive sideline gives him a little bit of a shrug. This is a commonplace occurrence. It's one of the funny notes of 49ers practice. So
I know we left Grant Cohn behind. I know we left him behind. Okay. And we're moving on to David Lombardi here, and we're bombing on David Lombardi now. But I'm actually really surprised that Grant Cohn didn't mention that in his not so good and all whatever and the incident analysis. I'm really shocked he did not bring up that, because you can make Kyle Shanahan look very dickish, you know. Oh, he has to give him a penalty just so he can get away with something, you know, or something like that. So
good to get to that detail. Best Purdy throw of the day was either that Kittle deep out later. Earlier, there's a play that I can't talk about because we can't get into trick plays during practice, but 49ers did something sensational, and Brock Purdy did something sensational. That's all I can tell you.
What?
Remember.
What? Then don't fucking tell us. All right, brother. That's how I know homie didn't have like bros around him, dude. Because if you had bros around you, they'd tell you to shut up. If you'd say, I got something for you, man, but I can't tell you what it is. There's something really cool, man, that I can't tell you. God, that's how you get people to not like you. You know, I want to know what happened. I didn't know about it. Larry didn't bring it up. Grant didn't bring it up. You brought it up now, man. What was that? Fucking David.
Remember this later in the regular season. I'll circle back, and at that point, maybe I'm allowed to talk about it.
Fucking better.
And you will know this moment on whatever day it is. You could trace it all back to.
It is August 16th, mother. I want to see that play week 1.
To that. Jacob
Okay.
Cowing. By the way, Purdy, really nice pass to Jawan Jennings today. I mean, just a floater, deep corner. Jennings had gotten pie zone help from.
But we all know what it is. I don't think it's that play that I know what you're talking about. They should have play of where Brock was throwing it backwards and it didn't work out or something like that. It was kind of terrible. But I'm assuming he's talking about another trick play he's working on. So it's got to be the throw. I guess I haven't heard about this one yet, but it's possible. But he's being secretive about it. So my guess is if someone told him not to tell people, but because this must have happened today. Let me double check. This is today's, right? I could be tripping. Yeah, it is today's. Okay. If it's that play, then okay, then I understand. But if it's not that play, fucking dude needs to tell me. Because apparently it was Amazing.
Safety George Odom dropped it in a bucket. That was a pretty play. No Aaron Banks today. He might have tweaked his leg yesterday for the 49ers.
Leg.
So Aaron Banks was replaced by Nick
That was his
Zakel
pinky.
at the first team left guard spot.
It was his
for the
pinky.
49ers. Dominic Pooney.
David, it was his pinky.
The right guard. The rookie, Jacob Cowing, is impressing. I mean, he rose up high. I mean, he's not a tall guy. He's got that very, very quick burst for the 49ers. But today it was an intermediate pass. It was less about the speed. It was more about the elevation that he got. He rose up high to catch a pass from Brandon Allen. I mentioned Diomedor Lenore, the interception. I think he was covering Deebo Samuel on the play. That was a deep out kind of pass from Brock Purdy. Demo, we're going to talk about this a lot more a little bit later today. That Richard Sherman interview was fascinating about Demo wanting to play nickel in the.
I thought about watching that interview and doing a live and watching that interview because I saw it and was rather curious. I haven't watched it yet. I have seen some clips that some creators have brought up from that interview, but I've been meaning to watch that interview, and I actually might watch that live along with the can't fucking think of it. The brick by brick. There you go. The brick by brick video. I actually want to watch that too on stream, but that's like 2 hours worth of content. All right. 8 people in here. Oh, I went to 4. It was like 8 and then 4.
Super Bowl, obviously Steve Wilkes and his.
I was about to get 4 subs right there, man.
Richard Sherman encouraging Demo to just go over Wilkes' head to go to Kyle Shanahan next time. Obviously, didn't do that. Big change in strategy for the 49ers because Demo had been playing nickel up until the Super Bowl. Instead, they put Logan Ryan in there, and the main reason behind everything was because Ambry Thomas, they didn't want him playing outside cornerback against Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Demo had a good practice today. We've got to break all that down because the 49ers have made some major changes in their secondary. They've even changed their defensive coordinator.
Can you say the last part?
We've got to break all that down because the 49ers have made some major changes. Thomas, they didn't want him playing outside cornerback against Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Demo had a good practice today. We've got to break all that down because the 49ers have made some major changes in their secondary. They've even changed their defensive coordinator ever since what happened in the Super Bowl. So I think that's going to be important to focus on. Stay tuned.
As a fan, I do not understand how you take somebody who's a safety and you had him play nickel, who's old, slow, and just joined the team. I would have been perfectly happy with Ambry Thomas out in the field and Diomedor Lenore as a fan. As a fan, that would have made sense to me. It's what we got. It's what we have. I think to me, it would have been a lot better than Logan Ryan. A lot better. The dude just came back from Disneyland. Like, I don't understand that part because I don't think he was, if I remember correctly, he was not the nickel against the Green Bay Packers. He was not the nickel against the Lions. I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't. We got to the Super Bowl with that group, and then you change it up like that? That doesn't make any sense to me, and I actually can't wait to watch that interview because I do remember seeing a clip on Larry's show talking about how he told Wilkes, hey, man, you got to put me in there, bro. Like, it's the best thing to do. But Wilkes is like, no, you think you're better than me, bullshit. And that is just paraphrasing. It's not exactly what he said, but God, I think that game would have been a little bit different. It's kind of how like Patriots feel if like Malcolm Butler was in there instead of whoever they had instead of him. It's kind of the same way I feel. I feel like if Diomedor Lenore was in there instead of Logan Ryan, especially that last touchdown. God, not think about the Super Bowl. Not think about the Super Bowl. That's not where we're going. So, for real though, yeah. I'll be right back, guys. And get some water. I'm dying of thirst. Look at Dave Lombardi's fucking face. You may say to yourself, hey, why don't you just wait to get water after your stream? Because you're almost done. Well, I got cotton mouth. And talking Why you got Cottonmouth? It's a real bitch. So, okay. So we watched David Lombardi. We looked at shockingly not very long instant reaction from not Grant Cohn, but Larry Krueger. And then we watched The Good and Bad from Grant Cohn. But the big one that happened today. Let's share this tab instead. Where is it? 49ers feel urgency to get Aiyuk's deals done. Okay. Obviously, you know that earlier today there was a $30 million offer, quote unquote. I get kind of really passionate about some of these things, and and I sometimes have to reel myself in, be like, okay, don't get over too passionate. Don't like curse at people for saying stupid shit. Like kind of like reel it in. We heard today that some creators out there really pushed the idea that 49ers had $30 million on the table. I promise you, if $30 million was offered to Aiyuk, there's no way in hell he would take it. He would take that shit. Okay. And then we heard other reports like, oh, he actually just wants that last year, blah, blah, blah. There's always going to be some sort of dumbass excuse. Okay. I'm so tired of it. So tired of it. Anyway, this is what John Lynch had to say about the urgency between him and Aiyuk getting a deal done. It's been a long, arduous. Ooh, that's a strong word. Arduous, hard process, a hard journey. Pause. We started this early and for whatever reason haven't been able to get it across the finish line. That's been frustrating, but the communication has still been really good with Brandon and his agent, and we're trying to figure out a solution. You guys been doing that for a fucking hot minute. I'm always hopeful. I'm an optimistic person by nature, and I'm always hopeful that we get there and get there soon. I can tell you we feel the urgency to have him. The season is approaching. Damn straight it is. Damn straight it is. I'm glad that he's not like lying to us. He's not like, oh, there's no real urgency. No, not pulling at Jerry Jones right now is huge. I think telling the fans like, hey, there is an urgency. We're really focused on this. We really want to get this done. Is a significantly better response than what Jerry Jones had to offer about CeeDee Lamb. So this is a good response. I like it. So an optimistic person by nature, definitely by your responses you give to the media, for sure. For shizzle. Gotta stop saying that. Not fucking Snoop Dogg. Okay. Asked why the negotiations with Aiyuk, which began before April's draft, have taken so long. Lynch says, I wish I knew. It's more like, not I wish I knew. It's more like, I wish I can put it all in a nutshell and tell you exactly how we got here. Because I know for a fact he knows how we got here. It's just that I think telling that story might take a while. I don't think it's as simple as saying 1, 2, and 3, whatever it may be. Is there any other quotes that he has in here? We already know he's getting $41 million, 14, whatever, if he plays. There's not bad blood. That's the quote we're looking for. Negotiations can get heated. I wonder, if Lynch and Aiyuk actually yelled at each other. I wonder if it's actually gotten heated. Not like heated. I want this money. No, I'm not giving it to you. I think you should. Yes, you should. No, I'm not going to give it to you. No, you should. Like that back and forth. Is that heated? Or is it like, oh, like that heated? That's kind of what I want to know. I think it's his first time going through that, but no bad blood. Ooh. He's like, I'm chill. Okay, I'm chill. Okay, but I think it's his first time, but it's good. It's okay. It's all good. It's his first time, so I know why he's freaking out. I mean, people that are here see Brandon out here. There you go. Fuck that up. There's a lot of love and respect for the relationship we've had and continue to have, and hopefully we will have into the future. Well, I mean, for Aiyuk, it seems like it's just money. And I think once he got paid, he would forget everything. And it sounds to me John Lynch is trying to put it out there that, hey, I don't want there to be bad blood. There's been moments where obviously it's been heated. He said that in there, but he's like, I've done this before millions of times. I never come out of it, put it against the player. That's big. I like that. This is the last thing he had to say. This is what Shanahan had to say. You want every player in camp. You want every player healthy, and you want to be working everything every single day. But that's not the reality of our league. That's not the reality of the situation. Well, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. I truly believe that if Ryans was the DC, we would have won. D'Amico Ryans, oh yeah. Fuck, if we had D'Amico Ryans, I think we would have beat the Vikings. Blitzing at the end of the fucking first half. I can't believe that, dude. I can't believe that. It almost worked out. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Ward almost intercepted the ball, but he got stolen from for a touchdown. But I digress. Still, the Heat has to be between the front office and the agent. Yes, exactly. The Heat's got between them. And that's the kind of weird part is like Brandon Aiyuk and John Lynch. Sorry, Brandon Ayuk's agent and John Lynch are best friends. So I always thought, like, how weird is that got to be to like not be biased towards your best friend? Like, I want to give my best friend the player to give to so that he can win a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? There's got to be like some sort of like bad blood like between bros almost. But if they're able to separate that business, that'd be cool. But I mean, that's got to be hard. I can't imagine that being easy, having a player you have to defend while also like playing your friend also, because you kind of to give your player a good contract, you kind of have to haggle and play them and fuck with them, maybe even backstab them and stuff like that. And that sounds really bad the way I put it that way. That's not what I mean. I just mean like it can be taken that way because they're bros. So I find that weird. I find that super weird. But I'm glad that there's a sense of urgency. I'm glad he's letting us know that, hey, we want to get this done before the season. I am sick and tired of all the news that we're getting. Everyone out there is getting sick and tired of this news. But it has to come to an end. Like, there's going to be an answer between now and the start of the season. We all know that. Everyone knows that. So people could say a lot of things between now and the start of the season, and they'll end up being right. They'll be like, oh, I said August 21st, Brandon Aiyuk is going to sign this thing in just a couple of days, or even that day he signs, and that person will be right. All I know is between here and now, Brandon Aiyuk is going to be resolved. We're going to have an answer, and I fucking swear to God, I will shed a tear. I will do, I don't know, man. Actually, I don't even know what I'll do. I will freak the fuck out. That's all I can tell you. I will probably have a minute of silence, like just, is this real? Like accepting the reality. And then once it happens, I don't know. We'll see. Will it be screaming? Will there be crying? Will I be super happy or be super mad that we overpaid a wide receiver? I don't know. But I'm getting sick and tired of these reports that do not, I repeat, do not have any proof or evidence or a real source. Someone telling me I have an anonymous, reliable source is the most frustrating fucking title I have ever heard in my entire life. Okay? There is none. Okay? You need to have the source or you don't. Okay? Saying an anonymous, reliable source can be anybody. It could be this cup. I slammed this cup down and it said Aiyuk being signed in like an echo. And I'd be like, oh, that's my reliable source. Everyone loves water. Anyway, bringing myself back in. I'm doing the bringing myself back in. Here we go. Okay. It's kind of like having interest in your wife's hair. That's one way of putting it. That's one way of putting it for sure. That's fine. All right, guys. So that was pretty much all the videos we saw today. I talked about the urgency with John Lynch, and you pretty much got my feelings on the Brandon Aiyuk situation. I mean, you got everyone's opinion on the Brandon Aiyuk situation right now. So I try not to sound like a broken record talking about it because I'm fucking tired of talking about it. But it's almost like therapy coming on here and saying, hey, this Brandon Aiyuk feels better. Brandon Aiyuk. Everything just gets better. Okay. When you just, for us 49ers content creators, when we talk about it, I think a part of it is just therapy. It just helps us. While every other 49ers fan is like, stop fucking talking about it. Anyway, all love, guys. Thank you so much, Papa J, for jumping up in here and talking, having a great conversation. I appreciate you, bud. You're awesome. To everyone else who jumped in here, said hi, just want to check out the stream. You like the live? Thank you so much. And to people who watch this later, sub if you like the content, like if you like the video, And of course, all love, fam. And I'll see you next vid.